Hi Marcel, so good to see you again.
Hi, it's nice to see you too.
Good, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good.
Good. Yeah, good to hear. My week has been good too, so good weeks all around. Last week, or last session, we talked about um, your goals of going to AA meetings and GED. And so let's just talk about the AA meetings first. So we talked about going to 3 sessions, and then on the next one after that, you would talk in front of the group. And so I'm assuming by now that that has been something that you've accomplished.
Yes, I did do that.
Awesome. So do you feel that on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being that you weren't vulnerable at all, but 10 being that you were very vulnerable and transparent, where do you feel like you fall? It can be anywhere in between that or those two numbers.
I think probably an 8. I shared some pretty personal things, complete vulnerability. I don't know that in that setting is actually something that can happen. So
yeah. So how do you feel like an 8 is different than a 10 for you? So like, how is your vulnerability a little less? Would you say?
It being the first time for me sharing, I think it would be the difference.
Yeah. So do you feel like if you went more and shared more, you'd work up more to a 10?
Yeah, I think I'd get more comfortable.
Yeah.
And getting to know the people more makes me more comfortable.
Yeah, but an 8, that's incredible. Like, I'm so proud of you for that.
I felt like our practice session a little while ago, that really helped me. I talked about some pretty rough things that have happened in my life then with you, so that made it easier.
You felt that made you more comfortable. Oh, that's awesome. That's the goal, so I'm glad that helped you. Good. And so, say we're standing at the bottom of a staircase, and the first step is just a baby step towards your goal of not depending on alcohol. But then step 10 is like, I'm free, I'm not dependent. How many steps would you say you took from that first step to step 10?
Probably 3 to 5. Being in this inpatient setting, I think, has helped a lot. But it's only been a few weeks, and the struggle is still there. And I'm still learning how to deal with it. Being such a short time, I feel like it can only get better.
Oh, yeah. And I'm so proud of you for this. You just have this positivity towards it and this drive, and you want to just keep taking strides. And so that's what I love to see, and I'm just so excited that you took 3 to 5 steps towards that goal in such a short time, because we've only been together for 6 weeks, so that's amazing. You should be proud of yourself for that.
I actually feel like I am.
Good. That's awesome. Yeah, so just talking about your GED goal now. So would you say on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're not motivated at all to get your GED, and then 10 being let's go, I'm ready to get my GED?
I'd say I'm a 3 there. It's still something I really want, but staying away from drugs and alcohol has kind of been my focus and has to be my focus. That I've learned from going to meetings and different therapy sessions. I have to make that my focus, so it's a little bit on the back burner right now.
Do you feel overwhelmed at all with two? Because those are 2 major goals. Does that overwhelm you a little, or how do you feel about that?
No, I wouldn't say that I do feel overwhelmed, because a GED is something you get at your own pace. There's no real pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't committed to anything yet, so.
Right. But yeah, I have a list of different schools I can give you later to look into.
Yeah, I would like to take those, definitely, since this is our last session.
Right, yeah. So why do you believe that the goal of, going to 3A meetings and then sharing on the last one has worked so well and gone so well?
Because I had um, 2 meetings to kind of see how it worked and see what other people did.
Yeah. You felt like that made you more comfortable to know what was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I did get a chance to talk with the leader of the meetings that you knew. And she made me feel comfortable. She was very nice.
Good. She's awesome. Good to hear. So just, and then you talked about how your GED goal, you're more at 3 motivation. So why do you feel like that has been, you kind of mentioned how the goal of the AA is like top priority, but is there anything else that is going on behind that GED goal not maybe going as well for you?
Not that I can think of. It's just when I focus on something, it's kind of all that's there in my mind.
Yeah.
So that's why it's kind of on the back burner to my sobriety.
Makes sense. Are there any fears that you have going into your GED or?
That I will be too dumb to do it. That it's been too long since I've been to school. At 13, 8th grade, maybe freshman, I can't remember. But yeah, I feel like I maybe not at the place academically that I need to be. That I might need some work to get to where I need to be.
Yeah, that's valid.
I'm behind everyone else is my fear.
Gotcha. That's very valid. And I've worked with clients before that have gone to get their GEDs, and they've had similar fears. They're like, I haven't studied in years. But you'd be surprised that the people that take it, they are in the exact same place as you, and the teacher will come alongside of you and help you through that. So you don't need to be afraid of that. I just realized that you value community and support, and so you can use the resources of your teacher and your peers to just to help you through that process, for sure. We can talk more about that. Just on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no progress of helping you to create a more positive life for yourself, but then 10 being like I've taken huge strides towards just dramatically changing your life for the better. How has our work here, affected you?
I would say a 10. I've definitely come a long way. Yeah, you've helped me a lot.
Oh, I'm so glad. That's so glad. I'm so glad to hear that. It's awesome. And then just another question regarding that, just because our agency values feedback, and so just be completely honest. But if you feel like my skills as a social worker, wasn't very helpful in your process towards your goals, or a 10 being that they were very helpful, what would you say?
I would say 10 again. You really asked me what I wanted and worked with me. You didn't try to suggest anything. You went with what I wanted and really valued what I had to say, and you really listened.
Good. Yeah. That's like a cool part of my job is that I feel like us as social workers, we're just called to empower you, and so I'm glad that you felt that way. So that's awesome. Part of my job is to help you just to conquer curveballs that come your way, because you're making huge strides towards your goals, which is amazing. But there can always be setbacks in life, and so we'll just talk through some of those things that could maybe come your way, not to put a damper on the mood, but this is like what if scenarios. But what if you you had that desire to turn back to your alcohol dependence, what could you do instead of turning to your alcohol dependence?
Um, Reach out to my sponsor or go to a meeting. Getting outside, maybe taking a walk, get some fresh air. That will help me. And then call my sponsor.
Yeah. I like how you're pulling from your strength of just community because you value that, right? I can see that in every session we've had. And so I think it's important that if, like you said, if you turn to alcohol or if you desire that, that you're going to reach out to your sponsor. I think that's a great idea. And going outside, that's always such a great idea, you know, because it's just fresh and new perspective, and that's awesome. Good ideas. And so you also talked about just lacking motivation to get your GED, and just feeling like that will be really hard. And so, what are some things that you could do to maybe like take that fear down a notch and just to find more supports?
Well, support would be my sister. I talked about in one of our sessions not wanting to let her into how bad I was before I started this. But I think that she does need to know, and I think she would want to help me. Like if I had a question on homework, I think she would be there for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is there anyone that you could think of, like in your classes, or any steps you could take with them to get help?
I think the teacher, I could reach out to her if I had any problems or questions.
Yeah.
She could be a good resource. If she wasn't able to help me, point me in the right direction.
That's so true. Yeah, I feel like whenever I make relationships with my teachers and ask questions, then I just would do better in the course. So that's a great idea. Okay, so yeah, so I think that's all that I have for you today. But I have just been so proud of the work that you've done. You've strived and worked so hard towards the goals that we've set. I see so much, just so much strength and confidence and courage in you that I didn't see at the beginning, but that has grown because you've seen, wow, these goals are really changing your life and for the better. Would you say that?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. So it's been such a pleasure to work with you, and I see a huge difference in you, and I can't wait to just follow up with you and see how you're doing in the future. But yeah, so it's been so good to meet with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. You've been tremendous help.